Benz Chronicles, where metal lives. And you know what? We got an album review coming at you right here, right now on the Metal Benz Chronicles YouTube channel. And to me, a pretty big one. I'm talking about the 13th studio album, the long-anticipated new album by Metalchurch. Of course, I'm talking about Congregation of Annihilation. What a cool name for an album. And this would be the first to feature Marc Lopes on vocals. That's right, replacing the late Mike Howe, who we unfortunately lost back in 2021. And, you know, lately we've been talking a lot about Metalchurch on this channel. You know, I did a track review to Pick a God and Pray when it first came out. You know, basically giving my introduction to, you know, Marc Lopes being in the band, being the new lead vocalist. You know, I did a little short video on that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And I gotta say, now I've heard some people have minor complaints, but I haven't heard too much bad though. To me, I think Marc Lopes is the perfect fit for Metalchurch. He's got the right voice. He reminds me a lot of David Wayne in a lot of ways, but he brings his own voice to this album, you know, and to the band. It's like a resurgence of Metalchurch. It's like a new chapter for Metalchurch. It's kind of similar to, you know, when Brian Johnson replaced Bon Scott in AC/DC way back in 1980, and they went on and put out Back in Black, you know. And of course, we all know how iconic that was. This is kind of similar, you know. Obviously, this album's not going to blow up and become big like Back in Black, but anyways, I digress. So yeah, we got Marc Lopes on vocals, Kirt on rhythm guitars, the main guy, the only original member left in Metalchurch. You know, Rick Van Zant on lead guitars. You got Steve Unger on bass, and you got Stet Howland on drums. Now, Stet Howland comes from Wasp, Lita Ford, and he played on one of Joey Belladonno's solo albums, I think it's Spells of Fear he played on back in 1998, which I do own that. But anyways, artwork was done by Gene Mitchell. You know, and that's pretty much it. Don't really know much about that artist. But anyways, this follows up Damned If You Do, which came out way back in 2018. So yeah, we got a pretty long gap here with Metalchurch albums, 5 years, you know. And I gotta say, to me, this album's definitely a return to that more aggressive style of Metalchurch. On those first two albums, you can definitely hear it. So yeah, let's get right into it. Congregation of Annihilation begins things, and wow, we begin with a scorching track. It's weird because this track in parts kind of reminds me of Holy Wars to Punishment Due, with the way the rhythm and groove sounds in this track. A little bit, but you know, it's obviously Metalchurch. But man, what a cool way to begin this album. Excellent, heavy, scorching track, and right away you can hear Marc's voice. You know, just great stuff. Great riffs, just a great track. So then you got Another Judgment Day. Okay, so now we pick up the speed a little more here. This one's pretty much a straight up thrasher, you know. And that's the notable thing on this album. You definitely hear more of a thrash metal side to the Metalchurch sound on this album, in my opinion. So yeah, this is definitely an aggressive track, really good track, really cool riffs, you know. Fast, you know, Marc's doing some really cool vocals again, some really awesome stuff. Sounds a lot like David Wayne in parts, but like I said, he brings his own flavor to the table. Okay, so then we get to the title track, Congregation of Annihilation. Another brutal thrasher, man. Wow. This one's brutal, you know. You get some shouted vocals in this track, you know. Just really, really good stuff in my opinion. Very aggressive track. One of the heaviest Metalchurch tracks in probably quite a while. You know, good stuff. Great double bass work. Notably, too, the drum work on this album is absolutely impressive and great. yes, that Howe definitely brings some excellent drumming to the table, and he actually replaced Jeff Plate. So this would be Stet Howland's second appearance on a Metal Church album. Cool track, okay. So then we get to the track Pick a God and Pray. Again, the first track released on this freaking album, and I was blown away. I'm like, yes! Yes, Metal Church is back, and the new vocalist kicks freaking ass. You know? So yeah, we already talked about that track before, so yes, another killer thrashy tune. Alright, Children of the Lie. Okay, now this track's really interesting because we're keeping the speed going on this track. It's weird because this track, when you listen to the opening riff, it really is reminiscent of some Megadeth. Like, to me, I could kind of hear a little bit of 1320 from Endgame on this track, a little bit in the riff playing, in that style, you know. Just got that driving thrash metal sound to it, you know. Similar to how Megadeth writes a lot of their thrash metal songs, but obviously with that Metal Church flavor. And near the end of the track, it gets a little progressive and slows down a bit, which gives this atmospheric outro to the track. The bass line is very catchy, very, very catchy bass line in this. It's like a doom, 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 doom. Like, you can just right away hum the bass track in your head. It's that memorable. So yeah, really good stuff there by Steve Unger, the bass player. And did I mention the guitar solos on this freaking album are absolutely killer so far by Rick Van Zandt. Okay, so then we get to the track Me the Nothing, track number 5. Now, this one definitely slows it down a bit, not in a ballady way, it's just more mid-tempoed. Man, I guess in a way you could probably say this is the 2023 version of Watch the Children Pray, and I definitely hope they put this in their live set because right now, as we speak, this might be my favorite track off this album. It's that freaking good. Oh my god! And there's a part in this track when he gets into the chorus where he sounds a lot like Udo Dirkschneider. You know, it's really good stuff. I mean, yeah, this is definitely a highlight on this freaking album. Very catchy riffs. You know, you get a melodic atmosphere in this track. Just really good stuff. Making Monsters is next, track 6. Again, this one kind of goes back to more of a Megadeth type of vibe. Like, the riff in this track definitely has that early Megadeth vibe to it. Kind of reminds me of something off of So Far, So Good, So What a little bit. Yeah, man, it's a really good track too. I like this track a lot. Say a Prayer with 7 Bullets is next. Man, this is another aggressive track. Like I said, it doesn't really let up on this record. It's another aggressive, heavy track, and a pretty angry track too. So yeah, it's definitely a really, really good, strong track. Again, you know, just another solid performance by Metal Church. You get some catchy rips here, you know. So then we get These Violent Thrills, you know, which is the next track. Again, another excellent track, in my opinion, on this freaking record. A little speedy, too, you know. Get some memorable rips here. Alright, so then we get to the last track on here. That would end the standard version. All That We Destroy. What a great way to end this freaking album. Again, it's fast-paced. It's got a very memorable chorus, you know. It's very simple, too. It's very simplistic. He's just going, all that we destroy, you know. It's good stuff. Really good track. Very good way to end this record. Excuse me there. And the notable thing is there's a lot of big riffs on this record. A lot of big hooks on this record. Yep. So yeah, I guess we'll talk about the bonus tracks real quick. My Favorite Sin. Now this one's a bit different. It's a little more groovy, a little more bluesy kind of on this track, you know. Kind of reminds me of the more melodic Metal Church that I guess you're used to with Mike Howe on vocals, you know. That's what it kind of reminds me of. It's got a little bit of a shuffle, a bluesy type of atmosphere going on. It's a pretty good bonus track though. And then you got Salvation, the other bonus track, pretty cool. Some good bass lines in this track, you know, good stuff. All in all, there's some great playing on this record. There's some, man, that's another thing too I should mention. The bass playing on this record is absolutely great. It's very audible. You can hear the bass in the mix. I think this is well produced, you know. It's got that old school metal church energy. You know, Marc Lopes, the vocalist, the new vocalist, brings a lot of energy to this thing. What a great album. What a great album. This is going to be one of the highlights for me at the end of 2023, I feel. I'm giving this album, man, I could give it a 10 out of 10, but I'm going to be fair and give it a 9.5 out of 10. It's a great album, man. It's just excellent stuff. Metal Church is back. This is the resurgence of Metal Church, you know. I'm happy. The new vocalist absolutely rips. And I should mention before I leave, and I didn't mention this earlier, Marc Lopes originally came from Ross the Boss, and he's still in Ross the Boss too. And he had a stint in Meliah Rage for a bit too at one point. So that's where Marc Lopes comes from. Right now the dude's living the dream, and he's doing a hell of a job in this band as far as I'm concerned. What a great way, what a great replacement, excuse me, there for the late David Wayne and the late Mike Howe. So yeah, I'm giving this album a 9.5 out of 10. I'm going to see Metal Church on June 30th, and I cannot freaking wait. Oh my god, it's going to be a good time. So yeah, that's my score, 9.5 out of 10. Stay tuned for more. Make sure you guys hit like, you comment, and you subscribe for some more metal. Alright guys, I'm out. And bang those heads. And blast the new Metal Church if you get it.